Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Diamond Network show, Voices of the Alternative World. And tonight, our special, Elizabeth, who started all of this, will be talking about her experience at the Prince Memorial, which was a very special event for many people. And then we'll have an open discussion about many topics that concern us all. So with all of that, the reference number for this show, for anyone who wants to listen on the phone before it's on YouTube or even after, is 415, and this is the April 26th edition of Voices of the Alternative World. So with all of that in mind and heart, we will say the Law of One to set the tone and bring in the higher energies, the universal energies for the show, and call in all our guides and all the angels, the galactics, the nature spirits, Gaia, Earth Mother, just all of the healing energies that we need to make this a true synthesis of all, and will hopefully bring some greater awareness to those who listen and to ourselves as well. So we are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all, I ask that only that which serves the highest good of all concerned happen here and now. And I give thanks that it be done, and so it is, so be it, blessed be.
Amen.
So Dale is here and Misty, and maybe I will call upon Misty if you'd like to read a card for the evening, Misty.
She has to wait till a little bit later. She's driving and she'll let us know.
Oh, actually, okay. I actually did just get to my destination, so I could actually read a card if, but I need a number. Sunny, do you want to have a number that's coming to your heart or mind between 1 and 81, including 1 or 81?
Okay. First number that came to mind is 56 for some reason.
Okay, it'll just take me a minute. 20, 21, 22.
Well, 56 is 2, and so that's like the middle. It's kind of like the second act in the play.
Mm. And it's also a number 11, which is one of the higher octave numbers. 11 and 2.
Okay. Oh, we got decadence. Water element cups, decadence. Number 4.
Oh, is that card number 4?
Yes.
Oh, the 2 are something I'll bring in about Prince is it was 2004, and he put forever, 2004 ever, and so the number 4.
All right.
Okay, so this card. Okay, the description is 2 large sea lions are sunning themselves on a rocky ocean beach, totally ignoring the huge sea serpent that hovers in the background. Satiated from feeding, the sea lions are not interested in watching for danger, only in luxuriating and in the warm sunshine. These sea lions, symbols of alertness to changes and danger, are lulled by a false sense of security. Human seekers who allow themselves to become satiated with material pleasures tend to become complacent in their spiritual growth. By this action, the seekers leave themselves vulnerable to emotionally charged situations that can cause serious upsets and setbacks. The sea serpent, a water dragon, represents the spiritual powers of change and transformation, which can be powerful and sometimes unpredictable. Winding its way out of the gleaming sun, the creative yet destructive power of prime matter. This dragon of emotions, water, forewarns of coming problems, the distant clouds. The human faces sleeping in oblivion in the great stones, primordial power, represent a shutdown of the psychic and intuitive senses. Complete absorption in physical pleasures and possessions causes the seeker to stop listening to the inner spiritual guidance that guides and warns us of approaching negative events. The prophecy. A period of false security is near. Changes are needed in your lifestyle and outlook to avoid setbacks and prolonged periods of negative energy and action. Take a good, honest look at your motives and plans. Make necessary positive changes, or you could be in for strong disappointments and failures. So I think that a lot of us can see the, kind of there's, to me, I can recognize when people are still so stuck in the material, whether they are fearing for, having a roof over their heads, which anybody would be concerned about. But, people are kind of plugging along, doing their things, and they are oblivious to things that are going on around them, out of concern of having enough money, having enough things, being able to maintain their way of life that they're used to if they're materialistic, and that's kind of the lifestyle that's going on. I see a definite separation with people. Myself, surely, I had to let go, and we all have, and trust God with all of it and everything. And I think it is important to look at what our motives are when we're doing anything. Is it for money, or is it for the good of all? That's kind of, is it for ourselves, or is it for the good of all? I try to make all the decisions in my life with that in mind, and check my motives for sure to make sure that I'm doing what my heart tells me is right.
Misty, the thing that impresses me about this whole situation is, and it directly related to the upcoming election, is you have an established order that's afraid of losing what it has, which is freedom and control. And you have the elation of the people who have yet to be the disenfranchised, that have the prospect of justice being finally achieved. And the thing that the spiritual understanding that has to take place is this has to run its course. The Owaspies use the expression they're going to try everything under the sun, but everything's going to fail them because it's not spiritually based. To make the transition into the future, we have to abandon all these ideas and become one with our Creator, and have faith that if we do live our highest, that everyone will be provided for, and justice will finally be achieved. But we have to abandon the ideas of laws and ownership and the traditional ideas that we've had about self, and that transition is going to take these experiences, these negative experiences, for us to grow. So we're going to have to go through some growing pains to achieve the spiritual understanding that we have to move forward into the next era. So, and that's where the opportunity and danger coexist with one another. So we have to always focus on building that better model. What are the messages that we're on the conclusion that we're supposed to come to from the events that take place, and don't become overwhelmed with all the negatives, but look for the pony and the horse manure, so to speak.
And the motives behind it, like I even consider where I shop, if and when I shop, or businesses that I'll choose to frequent, based on are they hurting people, or what are their practices? Really, we're in times of high manifestations, as we all know. So everything needs to be in alignment, our thoughts, our words, and our actions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything as much as we can.
Everything.
And recognize.
Reevaluation. And examining ourselves, and why we do what we do, and how we need to change our behavior to change our reality,
Definitely. Yeah. Well, the universe is showing us. It's showing everybody. And, that's how it works. It was perfectly.
Yeah, that was a good, perfectly important message in that card for many of us. Cause a lot of deep thought and reflection on, and the water element and the emotions. That's been coming up a lot lately, and that's just so important to address that, because emotions have such power, and people don't realize how much power emotions have.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And it's just like going into, we should enjoy our lives, of course. We should enjoy our, we should seek joy. At the same time, we have become just lost in our pleasures to the extent that we don't recognize things that are happening that should be recognized. I think that's something to be looked at, and in terms of choosing where we shop and things like that, that's just what we give our energy to is important. Who and what is behind these institution businesses, shops, big box stores. Even though we might want to save money and go to Walmart or something like that, it's giving our energy to a company that may not be quite as good for their employees and other factors as well. So anyway,
Right.
Yeah, so I shop at our local co-op, even though people complain about the prices, because our co-op is doing a good thing. It's just standing for the principles that we all believe in. And we just it's an exchange of energy, and we have our ways of saving money when we shop there too. So but we're giving our energy something good, something that feels right.
And Sonny, you bring up the co-op, and this is why sharing gardens in Monroe, Oregon is so significant to me, is because that model where we don't have to be concerned about what we have, that we've got an example of how you can do it and not be concerned about what the prices are, because it's free. And that's more in tune with the universal thinking that we need to have in the future, that we don't own we don't own ourselves in the sense that taking ownership of what we see or control of it, but we have an obligation to fulfill that thing that's our appropriate space, and working together with our fellows so all of us thrive. And my uncle had a saying, everyone must prosper or everyone will eventually starve. And that's right. When we find these models, that's why I'm crazy about getting Chris and his wife to participate in some fashion on a regular basis, because they have achieved what the world needs to achieve. If I was going to put an example up of how we should live and distribute our food and produce it, sharing gardens would be the prime example that I've seen that should be emulated.
Yes, well, they have done something that is way ahead of what most even the transitional farms and people that are like around my area, but they're all heading in a certain direction, and that's good. But Chris and Lynn have really taken it to the level of real sharing, without charging for their produce and just distributing it through the community and involving people in a learning, teaching environment.
When I was going through the forest in Alaska, there wasn't one blueberry bush that complained about me picking the blueberries. That they were there for me to eat. That's why they're there. But they're there for everybody to eat. And all we have to do is create the abundance so everybody has blueberries.
Yeah,
right.
Plant them.
And seeds are cheap. Seeds are so inexpensive, and I see lots. Okay, so I live in Eastern Washington, and I've seen quite a few community gardens. Even one just down the street from where I live. I went over to Tacoma, and I saw tons of community gardens set up on church property and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just amazing how things are changing and fast. Everybody's getting it,
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. It serves the community and people sharing and taking care of them and all of that stuff.
The critical thing is that everybody has to understand is those I call those like the earth ships, because that the capacity for the community to make these gardens flourish and to create an abundance of food is really going to make the transition when these social systems and institutions start breaking down and everybody says the sky's falling. Well, say no, there's not. Just go to the community garden. There's food there, and you'll get some spiritual edification along with your food, and start communicating and participating with each other, and don't look for. Don't chase the money around, but to see that the universe has right in front of you the capacity for you to flourish and you to thrive. You just have to make the appropriate moves and change your behavior a little bit. It's not a time for throwing up your hands and saying that it's the end of things. It's just the beginning. It's the beginning of something.
It's a new beginning, but doing things like people did, like years and years ago, just living in community rather than depending on, shipping stuff all over the world.
Yes.
And that expenditure of energy and all that, shipping things all over the world.
But the more we communicate that, hey, listen, there's nothing to worry about. When things start to crumble, and say, well, let it crumble. Civilization is going to move on to ever greater heights. That it's and thank goodness it's like freeing the slaves. It's another step in our evolution and our evolvement, and another level of freedom that's achieved. And freedom from ourselves. Really, that's the next. That's the next best, biggest.
Freedom from ourselves. Like there's in the area where I live, Nevada County, California, there are lots of people that are growing food, and there's farms, organic gardens, farms that are bringing their produce to the co-op, and they're selling it there. But there's already a setup of these gardens and farms, and if things really start to fall apart, I can see that the consciousness of people will just come together and say, hey, we've got it here. We've got what it takes, because there's enough consciousness here and in other areas as well that, we can drop the buying and selling and just share. We already have a system of that the hour system, and that could just be, the alternative currency, hours instead of money. We've got that in our community, and I can see how all of this can just come together. People will just see, well, this is how we got to do things now. And this is we're a community. Being a strong community is important, and we've got a lot of tools here to be that way with our radio station and all, and no doubt other areas have that as well. So, well, let's let Elizabeth tell her story. It's been quite a event. Prince dying. Like, I didn't know much about Prince before. I wasn't really following him and his music, but I knew he was there, and I knew he was important to the generation that came after mine, in the 80s and all. And I knew about Purple Rain, and I knew he participated in some special events supporting good causes. So it's been quite a phenomenon how the people have been supporting. They've just been talking about him. It's been so important to so many people. So, Elizabeth, you want to start your story?
Sure, I want to.
Weekend, yeah.
Sure, I want to just first thank you, Dale and Sunny, for having me on Voices from the Alternative World. I was trying to find a venue to get my story out, and it's not just my story. You guys just hit it on the nail. First up, the story that I experienced, I'm going to share with the world tonight. And Cynthia, she experienced it. She was on the phone with me several times through it. And so the story, first of all, I'll give you an overall view of what this story you'll see came out of it. And it's not just a story, gives you prophetic signs and wonders, makes you wonder. It's giving you signs and wonders of you, yourself, what Prince did, what Prince triggered, and as a group, as like Diamonds Network and other groups out there, and as cultures, as a community, as world, international. So the nutshell of Prince's story, what he's about, because I didn't know a lot about him, and I live in Minnesota, until this last week and a half. And boy, did I stay up nights and study a lot. It just one thing led to another. I'm a history buff too, so once I get on something, I'll search a lot. So Prince's story, Prince's life, he lived is all about community and keeping something that spurs out of the heart and purity in a community, but not just, and bringing people together in a community, like in, we'll just say the state of Minnesota, in North Minneapolis. And he's also about, bringing people together, unity and love around the world. And you'll see as I paint the story as it goes on. It was just fabulous. So it's just phenomenal. And my heart weeps this whole week as we went through that, what I went through, and then thought back. So I just want to tell the whole story, and then you guys, I'll try to highlight some signs and wonders after it happened. I thought about it, of the signs and wonders that came out of this story for all of us. And oh yeah. So, all right. I just want to check it. Did Cynthia make it here? Yeah, are you here yet, Cynthia?
Yeah, I did make it.
Okay. So great. Anything you want to say before I start the story? And then you can add in as I talk.
Just go ahead. I'm just sitting back and enjoying what you're saying.
Okay. So first of all, it's kind of phenomenal, and I didn't think of it till afterwards, but I've been working every other weekend, and then the other weekend I had free is Grandchildren Day, watching them all weekend, so it's kind of working too, but I love them. So I haven't had a weekend off in 3 or 4 months, and that's most of the time I make my money to live on. But I decided I'm going to take 2 weekends off. One was for Mother's Day. We have a trip planned. And the other one, I didn't have any plans. It just happened to be last Saturday, and I still wasn't making any plans. All I knew is I'm getting up in the morning. I bought 2 new tires. I'm going to drive down and have them put them on the shop, put them on my vehicle. So I was, in the mindset of, okay, get up, I'm going to go take the tires and see how the day goes. I didn't even plan nothing. Driving to get the tires, it's like, I've heard Prince a little bit in the news and stuff, and I kind of thought about it. I said, man, I think I want to go down to Chanhassen today and check out Prince. I mean, I feel bad if I didn't. I live in Minnesota. So I got my tires on. So this is my Saturday I usually work, but it got opened up for me somehow or some way, and I didn't plan on going down there. So I said, okay, I called Cynthia. I said, Cynthia, what do you think? I'm going to go down to Chanhassen, Prince's Paisley Plaza, his record studio's down there. That's where the memorial is. And I'm going to drive down there, and I'm going to write on one of the memorial things the Law of One and the Law of One symbol, and just say hi to people, see what goes on. I don't know. I just had this pull. So I said, what do you think about doing a call and a tribute for Prince as I'm there? She said, okay. And I said, well, I'll call you in a couple, 2 or 3 hours. So I drove down there, and before I got there, the gas station probably at 2 miles before I got there to Chanhassen, it's like an hour away, interstate all the way. And just let me know if I'm breaking up, you guys. I stopped at Super America, and I was just getting gas, and I looked over to my left, and there was like earbuds, the earbuds you put in your ears to listen and you plug in your phone. I don't use them usually. But it's like, what? What are those? They were white diamonds, like white opaque diamonds, earbuds to put in your ears. And a little round box came with them that says shine bright or keep shining, something like that. I said, how much are these? They're $10. I said, okay, I'll buy them. I don't know why, because usually when I would go to church and stuff and really close to God, I still am, he would show me signs and wonders. So there's that. So, okay, and I want to describe some of the scenery in detail because it was just so beautiful. Everything was just so beautiful, how it played out. Paisley Place is off of Highway 5, first of all, 5, Grace. And it was on the left-hand side right off of the highway. It was a double-sided highway. One side goes one way, the other side goes the other way. So Paisley Place is on the left-hand side, and there was a Jane Ann Park on the right. So you had to go into the park and park in the parking lots, and then you had to walk through the park a little bit, and you go down these walking paths. The walking paths go under the interstate, and they wind over to the other side of the street. And then there you are, right there at Paisley Park. There's a big fence around it, and you can even see it from the interstate. But as you're walking under the bridge, you get to the bottom, and there's a curve, and you look down to the left, and there's a cliff, and there's a beautiful stream just on its curb streaming down. A beautiful sound and everything. And so I've heard a lot. Prince has a bike, and he goes across the street, and he rides the bike through that Jane Ann Park, and then there's like a coffee shop, Byerly Foods and stuff right over there close by he's gone to. So I could, and people put a memorial there. He drove by that stream, and we're talking about emotions and that beautiful stream. So then you walk up about a half a block, and then you're right there. You walk. There's a big fence. You can look at Paisley Place. You can see it. And I put pictures on the interstate, on the internet, on the YouTube we did for the Prince tribute. So I was walked up, and there was lots of purple balloons on the fence, flowers, things that you find at a memorial. I heard the newsmen. There were various media outlets there. Because you go up and you turn the corner, and there's just still the fence, and it's like a one-car lane street where you drive, and the media was right there, all lined up. CNN, media from other countries, Channel 5 News. But Channel 5 News, I heard that day that people, flower shops were running out of purple flowers because of the high demand that day. That people were bringing them to Prince. So anyway, I was just walking up and talking with people. I met a guy. He's from Ireland. There was people from all over the world just got on a plane just to come to this memorial. a man from Ireland, a man from Japan, a man from Wisconsin. I'm going to interview a couple of them if I can get a hold of them. Okay, so I got there, and little did I know, I came on the day that the family was having a quiet memorial funeral service for Prince, and then people came to the house and was visiting, and they were in there, family members, close family members and other members, and they were in Paisley Plaza. So let me backtrack. Before I got there, I pulled up at Caribou to ask where that park was, and they told me it was right over there. And I talked to a couple that was sitting outside, and they shared with me they lived 2 miles from Prince's place, and they would hear helicopters once in a while, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and they asked their neighbors, and they said that was probably Prince coming in. And there was a young gal sitting out there when I was kind of interviewing him, finding out some information, that what they knew about Prince, because now here I am, the history buff, interested in Prince's life and the detail. And she shared with us, she goes, Prince comes here for coffee all the time. I said, oh, yeah? Anyway, I got done talking to the other couple, and they also shared with me that Prince, Paisley Plaza is his recording studio, plus, he has celebrations. He would invite people from the community to come and have a party celebrations, and then he would play music and stuff. And I asked this couple at Byerly's, and they said, yeah, all you'd have to do is put out like a tweet or something. And they never announced it. He just put out a tweet or something, and hundreds of people showed up. I mean, they couldn't figure it out how so many knew about it, 24 hours earlier. But then he shared with me that he has a house, and that was like 1.5 miles away from Paisley Plaza. And a beautiful land, oh, my God. There's a house there. He said, you'll know where it is because there's a metal gate and there's a guardhouse there. Well, there are 200, I drove out there, and there was flowers and stuff there, and it was 200 acres. And 10 years ago, he tore the house down. So he lived in there for a long time, but 10 years ago, they tore the house down. There were still guards in that guard station guarding that 200 acres up until 2 years ago. So let me just tell you about down at the house where he used to live. Oops, I hear some noise. If somebody could star 6, please. Where he used to live, and they tore his house down. On the gate, there was a hand towel, and on there was written in marker, thanks, Prince, for being a good neighbor. Thanks for giving out Halloween candy. And there was a Domino's pizza box laying on the ground there. He must have liked pizza or something. What else was there? But anyway, so when I was leaving that land, it was profound. I went there after a long day at Paisley Plaza, so I'm kind of telling the story backwards. It was the cop actually stopped because I was there writing the note. I actually wrote on a piece of paper and put it on that fence too, the law of one and the law of one symbol. And said, we love you, Prince. And I was just looking around, looking at the camera. I'll admit, I was looking at the cameras. Is there any way I can get in that land? Because I was going to get a piece of dirt and rock, but I ended up just getting something from the outside. But I must have been there too long or suspicious or something, because all of a sudden I heard, hi. I said, ah! I almost tripped over a balloon. There's a cop. And he says, what? I said, oh, I'm just doing a memorial thing here. Okay, well, just to make sure there's no vandalism or whatever. I was the only one there. Anyway. Okay, so that was, and I was driving away from there. Oh, my God, I looked to the left on his land, and I felt the emotion of heaven. Oh, my God, this land is heaven. I took a picture of it. You can't really, the picture doesn't surface. It was a scenery of trees and forests on both sides, but a big, wide, middle, open space with a body of water going towards these 2 smooth, big, rolling hills with grass, green grass on them. It made me want to crawl over the fence and walk a half a mile to one of those hills and walk and sit on it. That's how I felt. And it reminded me of the rolling hills further in Nebraska, but it just was the phrase it was in my heart and mind when I looked at it is, oh my God, this is a piece of heaven. So I had to turn around and take a picture of that land. The picture doesn't surface, but that was stuck out to me. So anyway, okay, so I was at Paisley Plaza, and I'll tell you what I learned about that. Also, he's known for going to that Byerly's in the middle of the night, and people know, and they try to treat him as a community member, and he's done a lot of things. He goes into listen to jazz music and stuff, and the Chanhassen Music Theater there sometimes. And anyway, and go to the grocery store, and he's known to ride his bike, ride his bike through the park and to the coffee shop and stuff. All right, so now where am I? Let's see. So I get there, and there's a lot of people there, and then there's a lot of media there, and a lot of purple there. Oh, and a gal was there. There was people there that been following Prince since they're 7 years old. These are people like in their 40s, 50s, 30s, a lot of them, and they're just fanatics. But they told me she's been to a celebration. She lives out of town. She's been to one of Prince's celebrations in the home where they jam on music. And the home inside Paisley Plaza is all white. It looks kind of marblish, all white outside. I don't know what material that is. But inside it's really modern looking, they said, and I asked about the elevator they found him in. Why would he have an elevator? Because I know, studying him, he liked to eat really good, and he was a role model for those who hung around him. They wanted to eat more healthier, so there's a good thing for the community. But she says, well, there's probably an elevator. He has an apartment upstairs, and that's where he's lived for the last 2 years. And the stairs that go up to the apartment are very windy and narrow and modern too. So anyway, and there's the big studios in there and too. And then that's huge building. And then there's another building off of that building. You've seen it in the pictures. It's a round oval building. It's a round hut, but it's huge. It's the same material as the building, but it's round. And I asked the girl who knows him really well, that studied him, and been to the celebration. I said, "What is that building?" She goes, "That's a mystery." I said, "Really? Huh? That's weird." So I started thinking. My wheels are thinking. And we're going to ask Chris that question when he gives. Him and his mom have been really something's highlighted with them in their heart for Prince too. So they've gotten some things come to them. So he'll do his part when he comes on Monday, May 2nd. Okay, so they found the house. So he's lived there for 2 years. And Prince never bought a house in California or wherever when he was living out of state and, doing his records and stuff. He rented a house from a star, painted it purple anyway, but he never bought land. And since I've heard he's bought lots of land around in Minnesota. Kathy told me $30 million worth of land. I don't know, but he owns the First Avenue Theater where he did Purple Rain, and First Avenue down in Minneapolis is a like a bar and a music bar and grill, big place. First Avenue, and a lot of bands go there, and they start out that way like he did, and he started touring for First Avenue. So he bought it a long time ago. Must have been up for sale. So he owns First Avenue. He owns Paisley Plaza, which is a record studio, which, by the way, other stars and other music people have come in there and recorded there, ones that have pure music and all that. This is an important point for later when I bring on. And anyway, so I was there, and there's the back gate. It kind of opens automatically and the thing, and a guy with a purple suit and a purple hat came out with a young gal. I think it's his former fiance, and then a young boy, and he just started hugging people in the line going down. And he got to me, and then I pulled a Pat. Pat, you started all this if you're listening. And I gave him a hug, and I don't know what came out of my mouth. I just said, we are all one, and that stopped him in his tracks. And I just said the whole prayer. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. So therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all that there is, I ask that only the highest good of all concerned happen, with Prince and Prince's family and friends. And he was like, you see his eyes were sinking. He was just humbled, like, oh, like that face. He didn't say that, but like, oh. And he said, thank you, a sincere thank you. And then the news media was standing right by me, and they asked him a question, an interview, and then he said a couple things about Prince for a minute or two. And then after that, my mouth opened up because there's a lot of people. And you guys keep keep this up, keep putting his music out virally, and I don't know. And if you're reporters out there, let's keep this up. But it was my plea to keep that pure music going out into the world. And I just said it to like 200, 300 people. They all heard me. But anyway, somehow something happened there. But and I was handing the Diamonds cards out too. I said, keep this going, and I'm going to do a trivia. Check us out. But anyway, so that was cool. The family of a big star would come out and just, hug people. The gate opened and closed. And anyway, blah blah blah. So he went back in. I was talking to people and all that, and I went across the street, which is just that short street. The media's in that street, and sitting on the grass. Called Cynthia, say, okay, you ready to do this? And she goes, okay. And we were just chit chatting, and as we were chit chatting, I saw the gate opening up again, and there was a big white truck coming out, very slow. So as we were chit chatting, it was like my body automatically, I'm serious, automatically got up. And I was thinking, listening to Cynthia and thinking at the same time, what is that truck? So I just started walking towards that side street to see what it was doing, and then it stopped. So I kept walking to the back of the truck, and everybody else was. And I was thinking, is that his body in there? What are they doing? The truck stopped. People got out. They opened the back, and I took cardboard boxes out. And inside the cardboard boxes, I was like the first one from this lady, which is a family member of Prince. I was taking a picture of her. She was walking towards me when my eye was on the camera to take a picture, and she gave it to me. I saw her eyes like zoop, go straight to me. It was like slow motion. It was like me, Superman. I don't know. It was weird. And I said, I was stunned. I was still trying to figure out what are they doing. I said, for me? She goes, yes, thank you for being here. Oh, my God. And everybody was stunned. They're giving gifts out. Well, families cheering on Prince's heart. He would do that, and he would make a lot of surprises for people. And he'd help a lot of people, and nobody would ever know it. So I said, wow. And not everybody got these boxes. And I saw a CNN interview, 2-minute interview, interviewed the guy that I'm going to interview from Wisconsin, and the gal that got a purple box too, and they were opening their box on CNN, and the girl was astounded. See this T-shirt? This fits my personality. And then it was like these gifts were made just for us uniquely, whoever got the box. And the guy said, this is not a T-shirt. This is what kind of those T-shirts are? It's not a T-shirt, but it's under T-shirt, a jersey or something. Oh, what's it called? I don't know. It's a different kind of T-shirt with no arms, no sleeves. And Prince knew that that's the kind of shirts that he wore. That's what he's seen. He was like amazed, and this was a fan. So I got my box, and I want to review that too, because Cynthia's going to flip a flip when she sees what I got, what Diamonds Network got, a message from Prince. You guys, this is a message for us from Prince and to the world. And we talked about it in our tribute. Little did we know, Cynthia. So I was amazed. So I said, Cynthia, I got to call you back in about 10 minutes. There's a truck coming out. And she said, okay. So I got the box. And then when I was walking around, there was a white man laying on the ground, looked like he was sleeping. I don't think he was sleeping. I walked by slowly thinking, I said, what is he doing? Is he meditating, soaking in the lovely energies that are here? Or is he praying or something? I don't know. That was really cool. And most people probably thought he was sleeping. He was meditating or something. It was just awesome. I got interviewed by Brazilian TV, and they asked me something, and I said the law of one on camera too. I don't know. They asked me about my box, because these boxes are awkward. They're really big to carry. They're like big, round hat boxes, and they're purple velvety. And inside them was a book like a picture book and a T-shirt. I'll share that with you in a little bit. But I don't know how to explain this. Through studying Prince, also I watched Purple Rain, the movie that he made. I watched it. First time I watched it all the way through, and that story. I studied the background of that, how that made, and he made it a go. He wanted to have that movie, and part probably to help him heal and stuff like that with stuff that went on with his life. But Prince was a community man. I mean, First Avenue, First Avenue Theater where he started at, he wouldn't let that go down. He bought that, and Paisley Plaza is a place that you record for pure music. I'm just praying and hoping. I prayed the highest good of all concerned over all of Prince's land in Minnesota that he owns, and Paisley Plaza and the First Avenue. It's sad to me to just say, oh, they're going to put it up like Elvis's thing and make it a historic thing. No, let's keep his heart going. Let's keep that pure music coming out, like Minnesota where you can come in free and do that. Let's keep Prince's heart going, keeping the community and unity around the world. It was just awesome. And I want to share about the gifts because that's for us too. But when they were handing out I thought of this later, when they were handing out the purple boxes, if you listen to the Prince tribute we did, that means love and music and purity, and music is the highest energy to get out energy. Cynthia can talk about that. Music is, you guys. Let's keep Paisley Plaza and let's keep it and build on Prince's heart. And I don't know, and I prayed a lot about things that I thought about regarding that in music industry and the Prince stuff. Let's not have it the same. So I asked for the highest good of all concerned. So I need a little break. Anybody, Cynthia, do you see any signs and wonders out of there? Anything you want to add, or anybody else? And then I want to share the gift with you and the details, because that's for us. As they handed out those purple boxes, people who got them was not by accident. They were like, to me, mediators of continuing to bring out what Prince's heart planned and strategy. But not just that, people from all around the world got these boxes. This love energy, this music, pure music energy went around to the world. And it's like we were proteges to take it further. Oh, my God, I'm going to cry. Not just us uniquely, but we represented, like I represented Minnesota. I represented United States of America. I represented Diamonds Network. I represented whatever, you know what I mean? It was just so profound. When I thought of it, it was a memorial gift given to us by Prince. And the family was carrying that on, because Prince always did surprise things, too. And it's just profound. Go ahead.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I've been watching this whole the series of events that's taken place since Prince passed away, and the thing that really is profoundly a profound thing to me is now this. The truth may have changed since I had the version of it, but from what I understand, there was no will. Okay, and that was intentional. Okay. And that was intentional, because I don't think that he really believed that he possessed any of that stuff. And I think the family, I think he had a long discussion with the family before he came to that conclusion, and the family agreed with him that let what is Rome, let Rome have. So Minnesota's laws say that whatever is left after somebody dies goes to the heirs. So Minnesota, okay, which is basically the people, are going to decide what percentage of that estate is theirs from the standpoint of inheritance tax, and then the rest is distributed, and whatever the rest is, the family's happy with that.
Well, that's very interesting. Either that or Prince is a very, very smart, strategic man. You can't tell me, well, you told me, and that sounds plausible, but on the other side of the coin, he bought a lot of land and invested. Why wouldn't he make a will? But both stories sound good, and in your story sounds even more astounding and miraculous, because if you said that I prayed over all of those scenarios that you would come up if it is that way, I prayed the highest good of all concern, because I was just weeping for the music to keep going and the love, what Prince sacrificed his life for, whether it was intentional or not. Not from him, I'm saying, from the bad guys. But
yeah, I don't see any, and it's early in the story, and there may be some warts on it, but I don't see like a, you know, because everybody was intended, they would have hammered out. They would have set up a family trust, and it would have passed on without any intervention from the state. But it's like, you know, so it's. I'm saying let's wait until
this is like a miracle. This is like a miracle. It's going to be fun to watch it unfold, isn't it, Dale?
Yeah, it is, because that was the first thing I said. Well, here comes that pesky estate squabble that's going to, you know, turn ugly. And what I'm perceiving is that Prince really didn't believe that he possessed any of that stuff anyway. And you know, because when you think of music, it's ethereal, and it comes to you from another place, from a spiritual place. And it's not something that you can I'm going to tonight I'm going to sit down and write music. You know, that doesn't happen. It comes in a dream. It comes in, you know, you hit a chord and then you put the music together and then the words come, or vice versa. But it all has to do with inspiration and idea.
Yep. Did you get any other signs and wonders out of that story? Then I want to ask Cynthia, and then the gift is profound.
No, please. Anybody that has anything to say, but this is just something to watch how this unfolds.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Very beautiful, and yes, the whole idea of music, which is something I've been recognizing for a while, is the power of music, and that's just extraordinary to hear about that. And there's a channeling, yes.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to let you, for the Diamonds Network people, you guys, we had put the Law of One over everything. I even wrote it right by that Prince symbol you saw on the fence on another page, because I wrote the Law of One on both properties and the Law of One symbol. It must. And then I talked to Chris earlier this week, and I said, okay, let me ask you a question. We pray for the highest good of all concerned as we've been plowing for the last 2 years. We pray, and we have faith, and we know it's already set at the highest good of all concerned. So why would people go out, you know, and place a sticker like in the airport or something? And so it helps other people. It does help, because we have dominion on the earth, because we're the beings on earth, and so we have dominion. So it's another part of taking dominion and making it solid. And Chris said it gives other beings that are of some sort permission. Then after the dominion being who's on earth goes and put the Law of One symbol or prayer on that object, then it gives the beings that can help us much authority to go in and help. Isn't that beautiful? What do you say, Cynthia?
Absolutely. It's amazing. I've been using the Law of One since the late 60s, and it just seems to morph. It's the same words, but the meaning just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and depending on who I'm saying it with, they take it in various different ways, but the result is the same. The result is that regardless of how it's taken, the highest good of all concerned is a result. And I just wanted to read just a few short quotes here.
Okay, you're really low, though.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. In the Upanishads, which are the ancient teachings of India, it says, the ear is the way. And Ravi Shankar said, our tradition teaches us that sound is God. It's called Nada Brahma. The highest aim of our music is to reveal the essence of the universe it reflects. And then the other thing I wanted to quote is a source called Lorenz Oken. It says, the eye takes a person into the world, but the ear brings the world into the person. And I see Prince's path as being, you know, the mystical uses of sound. So back to you.
And I see Prince's path as the mystical uses of sound, and very brilliant in strategy, and a community man that wanted to bring people together and bring up the trodden, and we talked about it on the Prince tribute very, very strongly, and I take it very, very seriously. That's why as I was thinking back, Cynthia, I was crying when I thought of Paisley Place and First Avenue and the land. God, that land with the tore the house down, another house could go up and there could be community living there or something, you know what I mean? I prayed for that, the highest good of all concerned. Don't let it just sit there. So we'll see what Dale brought in and we'll follow that. I hope you guys are getting inspired by this story. I don't know if it was just me, Prince Cynthia, because we were there personally. But music is the clinch, you guys. Music has to come in. Music is the next step for raising our love vibration. Right?
Right on.
I'm serious.
Exactly.
And at pure music, not controlled by the Matrix, which Prince went away from. And I'll read a little bit about that. So let me share my gift with you, because it's your gift too, because it's for the Diamonds Network to bring out to the world, you guys, all of you listening, and moderators, even everybody listening to the show. It's yours. It's yours to bring out to the world in your creation and purity of heart. So you take it what you will. But I didn't realize it was a special, unique gift for me, Diamonds Network from Minnesota. Whatever we are all involved in, because Diamonds is a network. It's a unity of people. It's people coming together in unity, purity, like Prince and others. So, okay, so here's our message. I didn't realize it till I saw that CNN 2-minute video with the two I talked about, commenting on these were like personal gifts to them. They were very, very touched. The T-shirt I got was the front of it, and actually I talked to another person with the box, and I said, hey, we were just kidding. You want to trade T-shirts? I said, what size is yours? Mine's an extra large. I usually wear extra large T-shirts. And I said, what's yours? And she's a large. So then I thought nah, I think I'm supposed to have this T-shirt, before I heard the interview about the two, thinking it was unique for them. That was just a really weird trip. Oh, and Channel 5 News, the mainstream media, I rubbed arms with them. I said, give me some of your energy. But I was teasing. I was really giving them our energy, mainstream media news. You know what I mean? And Cindy, I said, they want to use my box to show on the mainstream media news in Minnesota. And Cynthia told me before, go get some dirt from his yard in a little rock. So I did from Paisley Palace, and I did it from his 200 acres that is heaven, beautiful land. And we prayed for this purple box, highest good of all concerned, before it went on, and everybody saw it all around on mainstream media news in Minnesota. So for you that have faith and kind of weird like me and Cynthia, that fools that energy like that will get out from one little round box, well, that was really fun. The T-shirt I got was, and the purple, the color purple, tells the story of what he wanted to do too. It says Prince. It's just a big name, says Prince, and it says Musicology Tour 2000 Forever. Now, it has 2200, the number 4, and ever. 2000 Forever. Musicology Tour, Prince. And on the back of the T-shirt is a peace sign, and around the peace sign are all the cities he toured, that tour. He went to St. Paul, Hills, Milwaukee, Los Angeles, Anaheim, Memphis. I think Atlanta's on here, Dallas. Anyway, all around the peace sign of the cities he went. So that was a T-shirt. And now, this is what you're going to freak out on, Cynthia. The book, it's a picture of Prince in the front, and he has a black hat, and he's putting his fingers up to, like, his chin, and a black... nice top on, and it says One Night Alone. And anyway, I wanted to read you this really quick. The Musicology Tour, I haven't been able to listen to the album, and there's an album called Musicology, but this gives you a hint into Prince. Musicology Live 2004 Ever, March 27th, 2004, and lasted through September 11th, 2004. He did 96 shows in 6 months, brought in $87.4 million. So Musicology Live 2 Forever was a 2004 tour by Prince in North America to promote his Musicology album. The tour began in March 27 in 2004 in Reno, Nevada, and concluded on September 11th in San Jose, California. It was a commercial success, earning $87.4 million from 96 shows in 69 cities across North America and selling more than 1.4 million tickets. Prince said one of the goals of the tour was to, quote unquote, to bring back music and live live musicianship. To bring back music and live musicianship. And then in April of 2004, Prince released his, now check this out, Musicology was his 13th studio album. Musicology, the t-shirt I got. 13, Diamonds Forever, 13. 13's Christ Consciousness. Hello, Prince represents that too. 13. Prince released his 13th studio album, Musicology, from Columbia Records after leaving former record labels Warner Brothers and Arista. The album followed the 2003 releases Expectation and News. When speaking about the album, Prince stated, the album followed the 2003 releases Expectation. And there's the word expectation defined in this book that I got. Anyway, and Prince stated, I am really an artist and a musician at heart. That's what I do. Musicology has no boundaries or formats. It is long overdue to return to the art and craft of music. That's what this album is about. Schools in session. That's what he said. And that's the Musicology t-shirt I got, an album. Has no boundaries. It is long overdue to return to art and craft of music. That's what the album's about. And the singer gave a small performance at the El Rey Theater in Los Angeles in February to preview some of the new songs from the album, where he also announced plans for an upcoming tour. Tour dates were announced later in that month in North America. He opened in 2004 Grammy Awards with Beyonce and was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the same year. More tour dates were announced shortly afterward. The Musicology tour also increased sales of the Musicology album. Now here's a strategy of his. This is phenomenal. Check this out. The Musicology tour also increased sales of the Musicology album because concert goers received a copy of Musicology with the album cost included in the ticket price for the tour. Now check this. This is what happened when that happened, when he gave the album with the ticket price. This prompted Billboard magazine and Nielsen Sound Scan, these are companies, to change its chart data methodology. Prince changed the methodology. For future album releases, Billboard says that customers must be given an option to either add the CD to the ticket or purchase or forego the CD for a reduced ticket-only price. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. And almost done here. This set list is representative of the first show in Los Angeles on March 29th. It doesn't present all concerts during the tour, the Musicology. He played Musicology, Let's Go Crazy, I Would Die for You, When Doves Cry. And When Doves Cry, he released that a month and a half before Purple Rain movie came out, which he was in the movie Purple Rain. And When Doves Cry became a number one song after that movie. Baby, I'm a Star, Shh, DMSR, I Feel for You, Controversy, God, The Beautiful Ones, Nothing Compares to You, the number 2. He puts numbers in here a lot. To You, Insatiable, Sign O' the Times, The Question of You, Let's Work, You Got the Look, Life O' the Party, Soul Man, Kiss, Take Me With You, and You, Y-O-U is not Y-O-U, it's You. Forever, it's a 4 instead of F-O-R-U. Forever in My Life. I thought that was really curious. The Time, 12:01, that's a song. And then On the Couch, Little Red Corvette, Sometimes It Snows in April. Oh, Sometimes It Snows in April. I'll have to look that song up. Then there was a song called 7, the number 7. And then Purple Rain. And that lists all the cities it went to, and I'm calling down, almost done. Lead vocals, it tells who was all in there. Okay, I'm done with that part. Now I want to read the little book, but I'm going to take a break. Come on, you guys, make some comments, please. This is so profound. Did you hear what he said? Cynthia, the comment?
Well, this is Misty, and I'm going to go sing karaoke tonight and probably sing at least a couple of those songs that you mentioned. I'm inspired.
Nice.
Oh, I'm very inspired by this story, yes. Yes, bringing music back to what it should be rather than being controlled by commercial interests. And that as a pure expression, and it can really raise consciousness and bring people together. And it sounds like all of this has really been doing that. It's been bringing people together and raising consciousness. And it seems like it's just been part of what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and my point, Sonny, the most way it's raising consciousness is not what you see before your eyes. It's not what I experienced looking at that place or anything. It's the energy that's going out in the quantum field from Prince's death and his heart. You know, that too. That's why I'm so jumping up and down. You know what I mean? And that's why I say the music coming back is the next thing. It's got to come. It's got to come. You know it's important. I know it's important. It's been squelched for years since the 60s and 50s, you know.
It's very important, very important. It sure did so much in the 60s, and then it did get squashed into another.
It's going to awaken us more. It's going to awaken us more. Yes. It's going to expand our consciousness more. This kind of love in music, this kind of energy in music, and through the strategy and the setting up of how Prince brought it out, his studio and making it community thing, that's got to change in the music industry and the arts industry too. And Prince is the trigger of it, I believe.
Yes, well, I can feel all that coming. You know, that's just awesome. Yeah, I like that Cynthia mentioned Ravi Shankar and what he said because, of course, I'm very, tuned into he and George Harrison's relationship, and what that did for music and consciousness back then. Did a lot.
In this book, it's really, now you guys really get deep and mystic. You really want to look into Prince's heart and see how mystic it was, Cynthia? I'm going to read
go ahead, and I'm going to have to get off in a little bit, so I'm glad you're going ahead to read.
Okay. I want to read a couple pages, and then you let me know, because this is really deep, and you'll see even a deeper connotation than me. So I'm telling you guys, it's called One Night Alone. It's a picture of Prince with the black cat just looking straight at you. He's a handsome guy. So you open it up, and he's on stage with a microphone, guitar, and it's all black, and you see the stars above him, and he's looking at the earth. He's on stage, and he's looking at the earth and the stars, or a planet and the stars. And Prince wrote all this, and it was done by his MPG Records. It says 2002 NPG Records. That's his company. And it just has a word and how to say it, xenophobia. And then it has a definition, and I'll read it. Xenophobia, with this picture, xenophobia. A person unduly fearful or contemptuous of that which is foreign, especially of strangers or foreign peoples. That sounds like a fool to me. And it says, but for your race among us, there could not be war. Without the institution of slavery and the colored race as a basis, the war could not have an existence. It is better for us both, therefore, to be separated. Quote from Abraham Lincoln. Then I'll read one more, and I want Cynthia to come and comment before we go to the other. The next page is all white in the background, and it's a side picture of Prince. And it's a word on the other, exhalation. Exhalation. Something such as air or vapor that is exhaled. He's talking about his music, I think. And then he has Ephesians 4:22, that you should put away the old personality which conforms to your former course of conduct and which is being corrupted according to his deceptive desires. 23, but that you should be made new in the force actuating your mind. 24, and should put on the new personality which was created according to God's will in true righteousness and loyalty. Now, this is 2 pages. So far, Cynthia, what's your take?
Well, to be honest with you, when I tuned into him, I just kind of got an overview. He's a mystic. He's been on a mystical path for lifetimes. I feel that he came in got to looking at his chart. He had incredible influence and power, and he used it to uplift people. He used it to really save that part of humanity that has been discarded, which is truly, the valuable part. So I've got to go here. I can't stay on, but I just want to say that I do feel an amazing gratitude. I feel there's much more to this story than meets the eye. I think you've really tuned into it, Liz, and are doing a great job. And there's some more I will add later, but I'm not feeling guided to share it right now because I'm still gathering the pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue that, and I'll read the rest of this, and then you can listen to it later if you want to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
Yes. Okay, now, the pictures are beautiful and choreographed, really awesome, but the next page, you guys, and then you guys comment. It's called, the word starts with an X again, excogiate. To consider or think something out carefully and thoroughly. To consider or think something out carefully and thoroughly. Now, you tell me, if he wrote that, he hasn't thought of everything, something out carefully and thoroughly. And what Dale brought in, I mean, that could be a thinking out carefully and thoroughly, and that's a leap of faith because they did it that way. And then it says on the page, think about it. What if what is still being called music today is, and then he writes for again, for the most part, no longer music at all? What happens to the cycle when instruments have been replaced by machines, artists by producers, performance by promotional activities, and records by computer files? What happens when everything becomes driven by commercial considerations rather than musical, artistic ones? That's his heart. That's why I'm so passionate to keep that record place and producing records, pure music. So there's pictures of his band in here, too, and introduce them. I'll read a couple more pages, and then you guys can comment, and then there's only like 3 or 4 more pages left. Exemplify starts with an X. To illustrate or serve as an example. There are still true artists out there who share this intimate knowledge of what makes us what we are, and through a single musical phrase or written sentence can literally open worlds for us to explore. And the music angels said that same thing, too, when Cynthia read that during the Prince tribute that's up on YouTube already. Okay, through a single musical phrase or written sentence can literally open worlds for us to explore. And many people are persuaded that providing access to these artists and their art is something that is worth fighting for. It's worth fighting for, you guys. And then expectation, the expected value of a random variable, eager anticipation. And then there's a circle of words that goes down a spiral. It looks like it's at the Washington, D.C. Capitol, which is very profound, in the middle of the rotundo, and looking down the rotundo, and words are spiraling down. In other words, what happens to rebellion when rebellion itself becomes a marketing tool? ? What comes after this? ? Is there a way out of this feedback loop? ? And the words twirl down. And then there's pictures of him. And then the next word is exotica, curiously unusual or excitingly strange. Exotica, curiously unusual or excitingly strange. Exogenous, derived or developed from outside the body, originating externally. Expand, to become greater in size, volume, quantity, or scope. Enlarge. See, we want his energy to get greater in size, to volume, quantity, and enlarge. Exosphere, the outermost region of a planet's atmosphere. Exosphere. Almost done. These are short. Because this is just a sign and wonder, our unique little gift we got here, Diamonds Network. Now this I don't understand. See if anybody gets anything out of this. This just in, Cool is dead. Cool died right about the time Miles Davis died. Back in the day, everything was cool. Bell bottoms were cool. Plans for M's were cool until the lead singer of the Spinners tripped on both of his trying to seduce Shaka Khan with a bottle of Chris before Chris was cool. And then in the middle it says Death of Cool. Back in the day, Superfly was cool. Morris Day and the Time were cool. Cigarettes were cool, Kool. Nowadays, cool just makes you cough. Cool. Cool just makes you cough. That's weird. For show ain't nothing really cool except the breeze in Minnesota. For the truth defines man and man is not cool. Yeah, once you learn the truth, ain't nothing really cool. Not as long as he worships other men, Ecclesiastes 8:9. Ain't it the truth? Whose truth? ? Well, no man can define truth. Just ask any slave still waiting to get free. And cool? ? Anybody want to comment on anything?
Elizabeth, I've listened to every word intently, and I think that's the substance of of this program is, the voices from the alternative world are filtered through the exosphere, which is the barrier that we have yet to go through, and to become cool again. As these dimensions change, all of those ideas, like it's. Like John Wayne and the Green Berets were cool, and all the things that are cool, but now that we're making this transition, they're really not cool anymore. And so now what we have to do is find that new cool, and we, when you said the exosphere is the limitation that we have with our present understanding, and what we have to gain in spiritual understanding to go through that next barrier, this spiritual growth that has to take place, and how now, I feel like we're very much back at this in 1775, 74, when all these people were putting their minds together and coming up with the structure for the United States, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. So we're putting that skeleton together that's going to be the framework for the transition into the next. We're building the Constitution for a new world, and we're going to take all that is good from the past and couple it with what we are, this transition that we're going through, and individually and as a planet, to get to that next step. And this is an exciting process, and we have to put those xenophobic ideas of being afraid of change and being afraid of the unknown and being afraid, put down fear and just have faith that this next step is going to be done strictly with love and tolerance and patience and thoughtfulness, and nuance and subtlety, and elegance. This new configuration that we're going to construct, that we're going to live within and around and be a part of, is so simple and yet so complex all at the same time. And that's the inspiration I got from what you're saying. Overcome the barriers and don't be afraid. And just, but tread.
That was very good, profoundly
tread
said.
Carefully, with a grateful, with patience and thoughtfulness.
Profoundly said. Summed it up. That's beautiful. And all of this is personal for the Diamonds Network, you guys too. I got 3 more pages, but I'll use that towards the end. Sonny, you want to say anything, or anybody else want to make any comments?
Well, what we've been describing, what Dale is describing, and what this show focuses on a lot is the new world, how to structure things in a new way and all that, and different ways of doing things. However, the music is like the glue, just like the harmony, the harmonics, the flowing of the emotions and the watery energy.
It's glue. You said it. The glue.
Yeah.
That's things together.
In a way, yeah. The word glue made it sound like it was sticky, but it's like, it's like a harmony. The harmonics creates a flow and creates bliss and brings people together on this level, like it did in the 60s. So I can really see how that's all happening. It's triggering consciousness on all these different levels. Yeah. So that's really...
Let me just read these 3 pages. It's getting late. I don't mean to keep you guys late. These are for us. These were all X words, too. That was really strange. And the album they mentioned in the musicology thing that I just read is another album they mentioned in the musicology thing, which is my T-shirt. The one they mentioned goes with this book, so that's really different. That's really awesome.
I was going to mention Elizabeth. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
I think that this theme that we're on right now should be carried into next week, because it's just it's too vast and it's got so many details, and each one of them is important, that we shouldn't rush through this. We should dwell on it. And
if you haven't, Dale, listen to the Prince tribute, because it talks a lot about the music and why music's so important, the quantum physics of it, the science of it. Yeah.
And really at the fundamental beginning, of all music is the numbers, the counting, and that begins with the heartbeat. So the source of music is life, and the rhythm of.
And you are the music, and we are the music. And when you can love yourself, when you can get married in yourself and have sacred sex in yourself and love yourself, then you can hook up with the pure music and be the music, be your pure music. That's what Prince was. If you listen to I put it on the blog, the 20-minute tribute with David Icke for Prince. He talks about that he was the music. We are all music, but he was able to hook up purely with all the streams in heaven, or we'll just say, the pure stuff.
And I'm going to have to leave, and I hate to do it, but I do have some commitments, and I'd like to carry this on.
Dale, before you leave, let me read you. These are important for you. It only takes 2 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, important for the Diamonds Network and all of us, and whoever's listening is part of the Diamonds Network stuff. Expedition, a journey undertaken by a group of people with a definite objective. That's us. We got an objective. We're that way. Anyway, I'm just encouraging Diamonds Network. And then there's a drawing. Are you ready to be a part of the new power generation? ? Join the MPG Music Club, 2002. That was his studio. And then access these CDs, One Night Alone. Xenophobia. Xenophobia was the album. Another magnificent stuff. It has this thing. And then last page, the human factor. There are still true artists out there who share this intimate knowledge of what makes us what we are, and through a single musical phrase or written sentence, you put this in there again, can literally open worlds for us to explore. And many people are persuaded that providing access to these artists and their art is something that is worth fighting for. It requires patience. It can seem hopeless at times, but humanity knows how to surpass itself. And when it does, well, it's freezer burn compared to cool.
Wow.
Let's hear it for freezer burn.
Freezer burn.
We're going to freezer burn, you guys.
Two levels beyond cool, huh?
I tell you, Prince's Consciousness was with me for a whole week, and I wanted to share his heart with you guys. Yeah.
Wow. Let's not drop this. Let's carry on and bring this into next Tuesday.
Well, a stream of energy. Yes, it continues. I want to mention just one person that Prince reminds me of him that's very popular in our area is Michael Franti and Spearhead. And I'm looking at his website right now, and he's going, why I make music for one reason. I care about people and I care about the planet. And he has a similar energy. He gets people really going, really.
See, now those people that I would, like if I were to own Paisley Plaza, those are the kind of people that would come into Paisley Plaza and record and not have to be bugged by the matrix, because there will be a strategy in place. And it'll be easy going, wrapped in supreme happiness, maximum efficiency, minimum effort, because the law of one, highest good of all concerned, can only happen. And it can finally go out to the world, right? Instead of squelching all this purity of music, which is very important. If the bad guys wanted to squelch it, it's very, very important. And if you learn the knowledge and understanding of music, the quantum science of it, it's very awesome, Sunny. And I love you. I love your music, girl.
Oh, well, I love you, too. I love everything that we bring together here. It's just awesome what we're bringing together and sharing.
Well, I'll let you guys round it up, and don't forget to watch the YouTube Prince's tribute and to music, pure music on the Diamonds YouTube. I better give it Diamonds with an S Forever 31.blogspot.com.
All right.
Okay, you guys roll it in.
See everybody next week.
Yes, we will continue this wonderful harmonic energy stream, and we'll see you next week and hear you, and you will hear us and carry on. Okay. Blessings, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, Dale. Love you.
Good night. Good night, Eliz.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.